Greg, you come into tonight's game, got Scappoose Indians here in their own place. They've been playing some pretty good basketball lately, in fact, playing as well as anybody in the league. You beat them bad last time around. How do all those things play into your game tonight?
Well, we're here, so it's going to be a tough ball game. They always play tough at home. Last time we played them, we came out slow start at our place. In the second half, we were able to get a good gap, but I expect it to be a barn burner tonight.
As you look at Scappoose, they're a team that really doesn't have a huge amount of size. They do have some shooters. Last time they kind of slowed it down early. Do you expect them to be patient, or do you think they might step it up a little?
I think we'll see a little bit of everything. I think they'll come out and they'll be attacking the hoop. They really like to attack the elbow, get in the key, and then have you, if you help, and they want to kick it, and they just want to get you out of adjustment and get high percentage shots.
You look back at your last ball game, YC, played a pretty good ball game, didn't shoot the ball real well, but you picked up the assurance of another league title, and 2 years in, 2 league titles, that's a pretty good percentage. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I was. The kids have worked hard, and that was a good measuring stick to let us know where we're at. It's always tough when you're in the middle of the battle. Sometimes you lose sight of where you're at and what you've accomplished. But we don't want to reflect too long because we have a tough game here tonight, and the kids know that. And so against YC, our thought process was, they're going to pack it in the middle, which they did. We missed some easy shots, but then we became more aggressive in the second half, and I think that's what's going to have to happen tonight for us to pull out a win here.
Any concern tonight with the fact you've already won the league title? You've beaten Scappoose by 30 before. You're going to play in the first round, or actually second round of the state playoffs on March 6th, and so there's a lot of things that are decided. Question would be, where do you get your motivation tonight?
We talked about this earlier in practice yesterday, and actually right after the YC game, the kids were excited, but we still have work to do. And so this game we've kind of put it in their heads to think of it as a playoff game, because we're going to be playing a number 3 out of the Capital or the Greater Oregon League. So this will be a good measuring stick to see whether or not we've improved or maintained or regressed. Tough place to play, so that's the motivation behind it.
What are the things you're most pleased with your group so far this year? They've progressed, obviously. You're a much better team than you were at the beginning of the year. What parts of the game do you feel like are the key to your success at this point?
I would say mentally. We've been through a lot of adversity, especially at the beginning of the season where Johnny went down. We seem to have somebody always picks us up. It's not always the same characters every night, which is a good sign of strength and depth, which we're going to have if we want to go deep into the playoffs.
If you were to choose your style of game and you could dictate, would it be an up-tempo style? Do you think this is a group that the faster you run, the better off you're going to be? You're big, or are you a half-court team?
I would love to play up and down the court. That's just the way I played, and sometimes that style is dictated by what the other team is doing as well. And we've been able to adjust. We've had the last 3 or 4 ball games, excluding Astoria, play us a zone and pack it in. And then Astoria's out in our face and pressing us man-to-man. So I would like to get up and down the floor, and actually tonight we're going to try to send one of our guards on the rebound, so see if we can get some transition buckets.
Well, Greg, it's been a great year so far. Should be a lot of fun tonight. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And again, we'd like to thank Greg Werner for his comments for tonight's game on warm-up time. We'll be back with more warm-up time after this word from the Tillamook Bay Community College. they're using Lower Columbia officials, not looking for that third playoff spot. Third playoff spot's actually maybe a better place to be than the second playoff spot, as number 3 would play in Philomath. Of course, then they'd have to go to the winner of the Greater Oregon, LeGrand or Baker. That's not necessarily a great draw over there, but it's probably better than having that first round bye, not having a chance to win that first round playoff game, and having to then travel to the undefeated defending state champion, number 1 ranked team in the state, Brookings Harbor. That's what the number 2 team out of the Quappa League is going to have to do. Starting lineup tonight, first of all, for the Scappoose Indians. At the guards, it's going to be Jacob Wyatt, 5'7", sophomore. At the other guard, Riley Cronin. He is 5'10" and a senior. Cronin had 4 points in the first meeting between these two teams. Also a guard, Max Updike. He is 6 foot and a junior. And the forwards or post players will be 6 foot senior Kenny Jones and a 6'1" junior Jason Sawyer. Then one thing that you'll notice, actually 2 things you may notice, Jacob Keeneland, a starter, along with Corey Hendricks, a starter, both out due to illness tonight for the Indians. And so the Cheesemakers have caught Scappoose when they're a little bit down out here. Those 2 players each scored 7 points in the last game between these 2 teams. The Cheesemakers on the other side, their starting lineup, same as we've seen lately. At the point guard, it'll be Dan Seaholm, 5'9" and a junior. Had 2 points in the first game between these 2 teams. Jason Wetzel, a 6'1" senior, had a great game, led the way with 19 points. Also starting for the Cheesemakers, Luke Oldenkamp, 6'4" and a senior. Oldenkamp with 3 points in the last game. Matt Bryant, 6'8", high school pep band. Randy Shield along with Dave Sherbondi, your broadcast crew, as we get ready for basketball action. Sitting courtside, in fact, really almost sitting on the Tillamook bench.
Well, we are a part of the Tillamook bench. We're just an extension down. We do have a table, and boy, we've been in trouble here before. We've learned to keep our mouths and hands quiet.
Well,
here.
We certainly hope we've learned that. For those of you that don't remember, we were sitting courtside here one game and helped the officials count to 10. And they took exception to that. I think guy was somewhat psycho, actually. Came over, threatened to unplug us. We survived and stayed on the air.
We finally shut up.
And we will tonight as well. Jump ball tip far side. Scappoose is going to get it as Sawyer goes up quickly and controls. Scappoose going to move right to left across your radio dial. Baseline inside Sawyer. Checked by Bryant. Tillamook down with the ball. Going to come out the other way. Seaholm on top. Right across in front of us. Tillamook's in there traveling black uniforms with the red stripes down each side. Right wing kicking out on top is Bryant. Heavy man-to-man pressure defense. Off to Wetzel. He's hacked, no call. Dribbles far side. Waits. Hands on top to Seaholm. Seaholm crossover dribble, the right wing. Defensive pressure causing the Cheesemakers trouble right now. Pass to the baseline. Bryant lost it, goes to the back door. It's picked up there. Scappoose with the ball on the turnover. Max Updike will get the steal.
Boy, what I see quickly there is great defense by Scappoose. I'm not sure we saw that in that first game all night long.
So across the timeline, and Tillamook sits back in their zone. Scappoose going to try to pull them out. They hold the ball out by midcourt. Goes cross court to Sawyer at the free throw line. Stutter drive down the lane. Travels, no call. Hands back to Updike. Updike, baseline pass. Bounces it off the knee of Sawyer and out of bounds.
Well,
and Scappoose's coach did not want them to go forward and move the ball offensively as long as Tillamook was in the zone. He is furious and calls a timeout. It'll be a 30. We'll keep this one right here as Tillamook gets the ball back on the turnover. I think his intent was fully, you bring the ball across midcourt and you do not move it until Tillamook comes out of the zone.
Well, and Tillamook's seen that before, and a different coaching staff right now for the Tillamook Cheesemakers. I'm not sure what it'll take to bring Tillamook out of the zone. Tillamook has been pretty happy playing the zone this year, pretty much exclusively some type of zone. So we'll see what happens this next trip down for Scappoose. Tillamook will have the ball, each team with 1 turnover, and the start of this game definitely intense.
Well, and you look back to Alex's days, and Alex, in a test of will several times, let teams just hold the ball out there.
Well, and it isn't fun basketball.
No, but if you feel like you're outmanned, which Scappoose I think feels they are, especially when they're missing 2 starters, not a bad option. Cheesemakers across the timeline, right side, traveled by Seaholm, no call. To Keener, goes baseline inside. Wetzel drives, lays it up, missed it right at the rim. Rebound tipped out of bounds. Going to be Scappoose ball. Cheesemaker fans did not like that one.
Well, great drive left side. Wetzel just got right to the rim, couldn't finish.
Scappoose in backcourt, going to bring it across the timeline. Not quite yet, finally does. To Watt. Watt back out on top to Cronin. Cronin now going to step in, now backs out. Cheesemakers in a 1-3-1. Will they trap out of it? Cronin out by midcourt, now goes to the free throw line. Kicks left side to Updike. Updike looks back door, that's Jones. Can't find anybody, now going to step in. Goes to the free throw line, cut off there. Tillamook stays in their zone. Jones drives in, passes out. No score yet in the ball game. Almost turned it over. Down the lane, dishes Sawyer, lays it up. Jack whistle foul. Cheesemaker fans not going to like it. And Sawyer's going to go to the line to shoot a pair.
Well, that trip down Scappoose, very patient, very under control, and that time did just what they wanted to do with the basketball. Spread the defense, spread out that zone defense as far as they could, and boy, they were just very near an easy look inside.
Well, and I'd say on the other end, Tillamook did exactly what they wanted to, with Wetzel getting a good run to the rack and just didn't get it to go down.
Well, no doubt about that, and you want Wetzel taking that shot every chance he gets.
So after 2 minutes of play, the first points are on the board, and they're by Scappoose. They lead 2-0. Backcourt, Seaholm. He'll get it across the timeline. Looks to move down the floor. Has it stolen away from behind by Updike. Nice pick there as Updike with the steal. Moves it down. Cronin moves across the timeline. Cheesemakers match up. Come out and pressure. Watt on the drive. Back out to Cronin. Cronin. They spread the floor, almost four corners. Cheesemakers come out to match. Watt to the near side to Jones. Jones working against Seaholm. Makes a spin at the free throw line. Bounce to the baseline. Inside, tough shot, foul. No call, tipped out of bounds. Oh, going to be Scappoose ball again. Cheesemaker fans stand up with their hands in the air.
Well, was that a makeup call? Perhaps.
Maybe, because he got fouled, didn't get the call. Scappoose bring it in underneath their own basket, out to Updike. Flips it off to the right wing. Jones going to reverse it to Cronin. Cronin now going to make the move. Down the lane he goes. Runs into Bryant. Picked off there. Stolen by Wetzel. Wetzel on the drive. Feeds left side to Seaholm. Seaholm alley-oop, and he threw it out of the gym.
Well, that's 3 turnovers for the Tillamook Cheesemakers here in the first 3 minutes. If you remember the other night, they had 3 turnovers through 3 quarters.
Cheesemakers not taking care of the basketball well here early in the ball game. Trailed 2-0. 5 minutes left, first period. On top, Watt. Cronin. Little weave out on top with Updike. 3-man game. Working around. Cheesemakers in their switching matchup zone. Right side again. Scappoose very, very patient and methodical in this ball game. We knew that could be a problem. They've got great quickness. Pretty good ball handlers on the floor as well. Sawyer posted up on the left side. They look at him but won't go inside. Pick it back out on top. Crossover dribble, tipped away, lost on the floor, tipped away again, out of bounds. It'll be Scappoose ball right in front of us here to the left as we sit side by side on the Cheesemakers bench. Adjacent to the scorer's table, almost at midcourt at Scappoose High School. Over FM 94.3 KTIL in Tillamook. Sawyer comes out. Nick Paxson comes in. Paxson scored 1 point before fouling out in the first game between these two teams. Remember, Tillamook won that game 69-38.
Boy, it's going to be tough to get that kind of points on the board tonight.
Josh Rodriguez just into the ball game for the Cheesemakers. Put a little defensive pressure on. Cross court near side to Watt. Watt. One-handed pass to the right side of Cronin. Still working on the perimeter as the Cheesemakers move around. Down the lane, then kicking back again. Almost like a run in the last minute off the clock before half. Spin move down the lane, tipped away, stolen by the Cheesemakers. Oldenkamp feeds right side to Keener. Keener cut off. Shot, no good. Rebound, Bryant gets it back, puts it up. He missed it. Keener got it back, put it up and in. We're tied at 2.
Well, second, third chance opportunity for the Cheesemakers. Get their first bucket of the ball game.
Tied 2-2. 3:30 left to play in the first period. Tipped away, far side, picked off by Keener. Keener going to take the ball in the break. Right side to Rodriguez. Down the lane. Alley-oops it up to Bryant. Missed it. Kemp Oldenkamp steps through. Loses the ball out on the floor. Dives to the floor and out of bounds it goes. Going to be Scappoose ball. Oh, the Cheesemaker fans do not like it again.
Well, they are letting them play inside, no question about it, and the Tillamook just needs to respond. That time Oldenkamp got the rebound, stepped right into a double team, and probably should have kicked the ball out. He was a little further away from the basket than I think he thought.
Cheesemakers go small as they take Matt Bryant out and put Seaholm in. Tied at 2, 3 minutes left, first quarter.
Switched up man-to-man this trip down as well.
They have. With the ball on the right wing. Cronin between his legs. Now going to try to make the move on Wetzel. Cut off there. Kicks it back to Updike. Updike now going to try to move again. He kicks backwards. It's a little drive inside and then a dish backwards. Not towards the hole. Always away from the hole for Scappoose right now. Updike. Handoff comes around to Watts. Watts step through. Whistled. Blocking foul.
Yeah, that's a good call. Keener just got a little aggressive with the body bump, and he can't do that. Tillamook switching right away. They are not fighting through any screens at all. They're just flat switching, and that's kind of mismatching the Tillamook Cheesemakers just a little bit.
Stephen Rogers, a senior, checks into the ball game for Scappoose. Scappoose with the ball on the far side. Second foul called against Tillamook here in the first half. 2:36 left in the first quarter. With the ball right side, Cronin's going to drive. Tough shot off the glass and in. Cronin under pressure. Hit it off the glass. It's 4-2 Scappoose. Seaholm pushes left side. Wetzel for 3. It's an air ball. Rebound. Rodriguez on the backside keeps it alive. Reverses far side. High post. Keener. He's kicking it back out and setting it up. Left wing, Wetzel trying to go baseline. Now he's going to drive. Hand on his belly the whole way. Pass inside. Turned it over. Loose on the floor. No, it's going to be a jump ball. This one's going to go to Tillamook.
Tillamook fortunate to get another opportunity on that as well. The defense for Scappoose is swarming right now.
They have come out ready to play with a tight defense. Remember, Tillamook was down 12-9 after the first quarter in the last game. They outscored Scappoose by 33 from there on.
Well, and we've only seen 6 points combined between the two teams first 6 minutes of the ball game.
Inbound to Keener at the elbow. Kicks it back out to Rodriguez. Josh with the ball. Crossover out on top. Seems like players kind of sliding around out on the floor a little bit. Greg Werner in front of us stands up and hollers out the play. Kicking outside the 3 line. Right side Oldenkamp. He's going to step down the line. Hands back to Bloom. Bloom, 3 seconds in the key. Going to be on Oldenkamp. Turnover, Tillamook.
No, Oldenkamp crossed the key and then just didn't have a chance to get back out of there.
And it's a Tillamook timeout with 1:44 left to play in the first period. 4-2 Scappoose back in 1 minute. Welcome back. Cheesemakers with a steal. Lead pass. Seaholm lays it up and in. We're tied at 4. Keener with a great lead pass to Seaholm for the tie.
Well, and Rodriguez started that off with great defense and tipped the ball away and Tillamook picked it up.
Full court pressure again against Cheesemakers. Cross the timeline to get and then back it on out by midcourt. They'll move into the top of the key. Comes near side Cronin. Cronin baseline looking to push it inside and now reverses it back out. Their coach tells them just hold it by midcourt. Extending is Rogers. Rodriguez out on top, waiting, kicks it off his foot, almost got the steal. Keener lucky not to get the foul. See, Scappoose stays with it. Baseline, pass inside, double team, tough shot, short, no good, rebound Oldenkamp. Oldenkamp with the ball, Tillamook wants to run. Bloom almost traveled, hands off to Seaholm. Dan with the ball, moves left to right, across the timeline to Bloom on the right wing. Give and go, now gets a high screen. Gonna flip it inside, has it turned over. With the ball, lead pass, ahead, breakaway, Updike, lay-in is no good. Rebound Oldenkamp. Cheesemakers come down with the ball. They'll go the other direction. Tillamook, Greg Werner really wanting them to push the ball down the floor and step the tempo up. Right side to Rodriguez. High screen, now going to alley-oop, baseline, throws it away again. Boy, Tillamook has not taken care of the basketball.
Well, stepping up the tempo is not trying to flip the ball in where you can't get it into. And boy, we have overthrown the offensive player 2 or 3 times. We've got 7 turnovers here in the first quarter.
It is 4-4 with 10 seconds left in the quarter. with the ball out on top. Cronin stepped through, kicked it off his foot to the baseline, throws up a three at the buzzer. It's no good. And that is the end of a 4-4 quarter. Wow. 4-4 after one. We'll be back in 1 minute. And Scappoose, after 1 quarter, are tied. Wow.
4-4. Wow, what a first quarter. The Tillamook Cheesemakers shooting 33% from the field. 2 of 6.
2 of 6.
2 of 6. 6 shots put up in that first quarter.
We got 70 shots up the last ball game.
We're going to have to speed up the process just a little bit to get that.
Scappoose brings it to the top of the key. Waits, travels, no call. Hands off, Updike. Good defense by Rodriguez. Gets it across. Updike gives it up and gets it back. Now he's going to try to make the move. Down the lane he goes. Kicks out in the corner, out on top. Eyes for three, no. Going to wait there, holds, goes back to the corner again. Going to shoot the 17-footer and hits. Updike gets it to go. 6-4, Scappoose with the lead. Seaholm on top with the ball. Scappoose still in their tight man-to-man defense, and it's caused problems. Down the lane, Keenert, offensive foul. Went up high, kissed it off the glass, but taking the charge was the Indian defender. That's Keenert's second personal foul, third team foul on Scappoose, as Wetzel comes back into the ball game as Bloom sits down. Cheesemakers keep the pressure on in the full court press. Far side, Cronin. Cronin works inside, now flips to the backside, and they get it across the timeline. Scappoose playing with a lot of confidence right now with their game plan. And that game plan has the ball clear out by midcourt. Cheesemakers extend and spread the defense. Out on top, Updike down the lane, hit on the shot, doesn't get it to go. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Well, and every minute that passes to where these teams don't put points on the board, they're going to have more confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's exactly the game plan of the coach over there, and he's encouraging this. So
Max Updike's going to go to the line to shoot two. Fourth team foul against Tillamook. Not a foul called on Scappoose yet. Dan Ginger going to come in as Keenert's going to sit down with his 2 personal fouls just underway here in the second period.
Tillamook once again had a big size advantage, and they haven't been able to use that. Both 2 big men on the bench for the Tillamook Cheesemakers.
Scappoose has Tillamook doubled up at 8-4. Rodriguez in backcourt gets it across to Ginger, and Ginger will get it across the timeline. With the ball in the corner to Wetzel, down the lane, blocking foul this time. I'd say that one was more of a charge than the last one.
Yeah, it's close.
And it'll be, I believe, before the shot. No, they're going to give him 2 shots on it. And so it was Oldenkamp on the drive, not Wetzel. Good hard drive by Luke Oldenkamp.
It's good to see some aggressive on the offensive end by the Tillamook Cheesemakers.
That was serious contact.
That was some serious contact.
So Luke Oldenkamp goes to the line to shoot a pair. First foul of the game against Scappoose. Rattles it in and out. No good. That ball went all the way in and somehow crawled back out. Tillamook still trails 8-4, and we're in the second quarter.
Well into the second quarter. The Cheesemakers are going to have to come down and just really put an effort out on the offensive end. And
Oldenkamp missed them both. One of the better free throw shooters Cheesemakers have. Backcourt with the ball, get it across timeline on a chancy long bounce pass that Wetzel couldn't quite get a hand on. Sawyer trying to post up. Cronin, long cross court. Picked up there. Updike down the lane. Throws up a shot, and in. Updike's on fire right now. Had only 3 points in the first game between these two teams. He's got 6 now, I believe.
He's got 6 in the game. 2 for 3 from the field and 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Rodriguez on top. Left side to Oldenkamp. Oldenkamp clear out on top of the key. Now he'll go down the lane. Oh, and an offensive foul. Holy smokes.
Boy, that was not a good call.
That was not a good call. And the ball bounced out, was rolling all the way across the floor, and the whistle hadn't blown, and finally it blew and went the other way. 5th foul against Tillamook, 1 against Scappoose. 6 minutes left first half. 10-4, Scappoose with a lead.
Oh.
Backcourt almost turned over. Going to double team, goes into the corner. Updike, he's on a roll. He's going to drive. He's going to lay it up. He missed it. Matt Bryant with a rebound. Off to Seaholm to Rodriguez. Going to try to push the ball right side. Rodriguez has it picked clean, stolen away. Cheesemaker fans are not happy with what they're seeing going on the floor down there. Reaching and slapping and not a whistle.
Tillamook with 10 turnovers here in the first half.
Wow. Backdoor pass, Updike, wrap it around inside. Sawyer lays it up and in.
Right now, Tillamook's just getting beat. Sawyer with 4 points as well.
And Tillamook wants timeout. I do as well. 5:24 left first half. 12-4 Scappoose. We'll be back in 1 minute. Crew, Johnny Begin comes into the ball game. Johnny going to try to help the Cheesemakers maintain some composure offensively with 10 turnovers already in the ball game.
Not very often can you see a team is tripled up.
No. Begin will bring the ball sideline right in front of us, off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez going to go by his man to the free throw line, has it tipped away, diving out of bounds it goes. It'll be Tillamook ball.
And you don't see that very often either. Rodriguez kind of picked clean at the right side of the paint there.
They're doing a nice job double teaming off the screens in that man-to-man defense. The Cheesemakers just have not been aggressive enough going to the basket. Wetzel, right side to Begin.
I don't know how you can say that with Oldenkamp just picked up his the charge that he did.
That's true. Seaholm, right wing to Begin. A screen. Now he's going to come off the high screen to the free throw line. Wrap around, threw it to the baseline and threw it away. Boy, Tillamook is just slipping all over the place on that floor.
Well, not a good pass there by Johnny Begin. When you're in trouble, pass out, restart things. It's just too much traffic in there. Turnover number 11 for the Cheesemakers.
Cheesemakers match up in the man-to-man defense now. They'll come out and see what Scappoose will do. Scappoose looks as if they're going to try to move towards the basket a little bit. Trying to work on spacing. Updike goes to the baseline, stepped on the end line. After he traveled, the ball popped clear up in the air. He took about 3 steps with the ball up by his head and then finally got it to the ground, but he stepped out of bounds, and that got the turnover.
Tillamook a little out of sync right now at who they even want to bring the ball in.
4 points in almost 12 minutes of play for the Cheesemakers. Wetzel, sideline left, into the corner, left side to Rodriguez. Out on top, Cheesemakers will call out their play. Waiting, holding, need some help. Go to the baseline, they throw it away again.
Well, we talked about what might happen at Hillsboro next week. You can't play like this very long against a Hillsboro, or it'll be really bad in a hurry, and the Cheesemakers won't last very long in the tournament playing like this either.
Well, the Cheesemakers, Rodriguez falls down again. Now he dives to the floor, fights for it. Now 4 players on the floor, and it's going to be a jump ball. This floor is horrible.
Well, I don't remember it being that slick, and the Scappoose players aren't really sliding around that much.
It's just a matter of how you clean it. And so the Cheesemakers on the alternating possession are going to get it back.
Well, that's the 7th turnover for Scappoose. So we've seen 19 turnovers in the first half between the two teams.
And 16 points. Center drive, right side, Seaholm. Wrap around on top, Rodriguez. He'll shoot a 3. Hit on the shot, no call. Rebound comes down to Scappoose. Updike out of backcourt. Goes right side as they get it across the timeline. 12-4. Scappoose clear out by midcourt again. Scappoose working on just straight spacing. That's all. Going to go down the lane. Has it turned over and then finally tackled, and the whistle blows.
Well, I was wondering when the whistle was going to blow there. Cronin picked up his 2nd personal foul. And the Cheesemakers, good defense that time. Just a little swipe at the ball and took it away from Cronin.
3:41 left in the first half.
You've got to get something going on the offensive end here.
Cheesemakers have gone to a small lineup to go quick defensively. Certainly outdone. They turn it over again. Rodriguez loses it on the drive. Unbelievable.
Wow. Scappoose looks very quick out there right now.
Scappoose with the ball on the near end. Moving right to left. Out on top is Watt. Watt going to drive against Seaholm. Stop, now going to cut off and sends it back out by midcourt. to Cronin. Cronin now going to drive, top of the key, stops there, goes to the baseline. Going to drive inside, kicks it back out on top again. Now a drive down the lane, throws up a shot, no good. Rebound, got his own again. Back up, check, whistle, foul is going to be Bryant from behind.
Bryant, first personal foul, and if you're going to play like this, you can't give second chance opportunities, and Tillamook is just giving it up right now.
Yeah, if they don't, if you don't take many shots and then you get extras, game gets a whole lot easier.
It certainly does. Scappoose in that first quarter just 1 of 6, 17% from the field, but they're doing a little better here in the second quarter.
Kenny Jones goes to the line, hits the first one, 13-4, Scappoose for the lead. Never thought I'd see that this year. 4 points in the first half. He missed the second one. Dan Ginger back into the ball game. It's 13-4 Scappoose with 2:53 left to play in the half. Baseline pass, tip, goes inside. Matt Bryant is just hammered, and out of bounds it goes. They're going to call the foul on Nick Paxton. So Paxton picks up the foul. That is the third team foul against Scappoose.
Early there's a play.
Inside, Bryant from 6. He gets it to fall.
Well, the inbound play went straight to him, and he just went up with the ball strong. And Tillamook, great size advantage. Got to take advantage of that.
Back to within 7. The problem is they can't put enough defensive pressure on with their tall guys in there. And Scappoose has chosen to spread the floor. Now working defensively again in the man-to-man. Out on top, Jacob Wyatt. Wyatt, Rodriguez on him, reaches, he steals. Rodriguez, one-on-one, going the other way, flips it up, no good. Seaholm follows for 2.
Well, Seaholm with 4 points in the game, both off of fast break, and that time, once again, just a little too quick by Rodriguez.
Down the lane, Updike traveled, no call, out of bounds, Cheesemaker ball.
And that's 9 turnovers for Scappoose here in the first half.
Cheesemakers get a little run, scoring 2 trips in a row down the floor. With the ball, almost throw it away, they do on the inbounds. Scappoose with the ball under the basket, going to back it on out. Rodriguez almost got a steal after Tillamook turned it over. Unforced turnover there. Minute 45 left to play in the first half. Updike kicks out to the right wing to Jones. Jones making a move against Wetzel. Backs it up again. Clear out by midcourt. I was going to walk it in. Picks up his dribble, hands off to Watt. Watt with Rodriguez on him. Rodriguez going to step out, cause the 5-second count, and there's the reach and the foul.
Well, I tell you what, not much of a foul there. It was almost initiated by the Scappoose player.
And to the line will go Jacob Watt to shoot 1-on-1 in the bonus with 1:26 left to play in the half. 17 fouls against Tillamook, 3 against Scappoose. 13-8, Scappoose with the lead.
This may just be one of those halves you just want to get over with, get into the locker room, and try to figure out some other game plan for the second half.
Free throw on the way by Wyatt is good. The sophomore steps up. Did not play in the first game between these two teams. Remember, Scappoose missing 2 of their starters due to illness tonight.
It hasn't hurt them yet.
No, it certainly has changed who they are as a team as well. They've stepped up the defensive pressure. Hope the Cheesemakers can learn from it. As Wyatt hits both free throws, it's 15-8. Ginger to throw the ball in. Long chancy throw, but it comes in. Tillamook pressure in backcourt, needs some help. Across to Ginger, Tillamook gets it down. Up, down, 15-8. Seaholm on top with 1:15 left to play in the half. Seaholm, right side, going to try to loop inside. No, goes out on top to Wetzel. High post to Bryant. Bryant, he traveled because he got pushed.
Well, belly bumped twice, and you can't, you just can't do that.
Clear out, all alone on top of the key. You have a guy a foot shorter than you coming up with a body all over you. You blow the whistle the first time, not when he travels. 1 minute left. Scappoose with the ball. On top, waits, tied up. Oh, no call. Back to Scappoose again. Tipped off, picked off. Ginger with the ball, left side. He loses it, gets it back. Now he's fouled. That'll be the 4th team foul. Tillamook will get the ball back. Not yet in the 1-on-1.
It is just ratty right now. It's just a ratty basketball game.
15-8. Scappoose with the lead. 45 seconds left in the half. If you just joined us, that should be a first quarter score. It's not. Ball tipped out in the corner, and it'll be Tillamook ball. Tillamook lucky not to give that one up.
Boy, you're not going to believe the turnovers. That's 15. That would have been 16 in the first half. That's crazy.
Scappoose going to bring the ball in. They go to Matt Bryant in the corner. Needs some help. Hands on defense. Out on top to Dan Seaholm. Seaholm, sideline left. Picked off from behind. Stolen away. Double teamed again. The Cheesemakers completely unaware.
Well, no help either. Nobody's talking out there, and Tillamook just getting beat on both ends of the floor.
Cronin with the ball near side. 15 seconds left in the half. Goes behind his back, now going to go down the lane. Steps up, throws up a shot that crawls over the rim and goes in. Inbound play, 17-8. Cheesemakers have it with 4 seconds left. Dan Ginger from three-quarters court is no good, and that's the end of the first half of play. The most miserable half of basketball we've seen the Cheesemakers play all year. They trail 17-8 at half. We'll be back in 1 minute. Tillamook JVs won by 30 at home, and tonight they win by 12, and that's the scoring as Tillamook JVs win again as they continue on a roll. They've had a great season so far as the Tillamook JVs continue to win. Also, let me remind you, Saturday, district wrestling semifinal action, 11 o'clock in the morning is when it starts. Cheesemakers hope to have a bunch in the semifinals, and we'll be there broadcasting for you from Astoria High School. Again, that's Saturday, this Saturday at 11 o'clock. Scappoose is going to get the balls first to start the second half of play, as they will move right to left.
The opponent always gets the ball first to start the second half.
They do. Well, they don't exactly. You see, the ball is all figured. Who gets it is figured on the alternating possession. And so whoever wins the tip at the beginning of the game, the next jump ball ends up going to the other team. And there's a bonus or a possession arrow that goes back and forth, and it alternates all the way through. And so whoever you have the possession arrow pointing towards to start the second half gets the ball.
Well, but it's always the opponent. So how do you do that?
It just seems like it is. It always seems like every time it's pointing their way. Scappoose with the ball. Comes in, far corner to Updike. Kicks back out on top to Watt. We'll see how the Cheesemakers adjust. They're going to go to a trapping zone. In the corner, Updike going to shoot a long three. No good. Oldenkamp with a rebound. Tillamook, quick outlet, left side. Wetzel going to go down the floor, crossover. He'll drive inside. There's a foul that we didn't get the entire first half.
Boy, and a very late whistle finally came with it. He was double teamed as he came across the paint and hit hard, and the whistle finally blew, and boy, that saved us right there from just a disaster start to the second half.
Would have been another turnover, and again, that's what we did not see in the entire first half. Keenard inside, shot no good. Whistle goes in. He scores, and he's fouled as Sawyer went up to tip it away from Wetzel. Wetzel just kind of made contact. They banged together. The ball fell in the hole, and now Wetzel's going to the line trying to complete the three-point play.
Keenard almost tipped that away from Wetzel as well.
Free throw is no good. Cheesemakers can't convert on the three-point play. They trail by 7.
Tillamook 0 for 3 from the free throw line in the game.
Double team near side. Skip pass to the far side to Wyatt. Back out on top. Cheesemakers, again, have a different game plan here defensively as they start Seaholm and Rodriguez, and they break down on the far side, down the lane, laying it up and in, is Scappoose's Rogers. Cheesemakers trail 19-10. With the ball on top, Seaholm to Rodriguez. Oldenkamp post up. He gets it, going to try to move low. Steps inside, batted around. Goes to Rodriguez. Running jumper, 10. Good. Rodriguez gets a shot to fall.
We didn't see Rodriguez able to get that shot up in the air in the first half either. That's good to see.
Sideline right, down the lane, bounce past baseline. Checked by Oldenkamp and out of bounds.
Boy, I tell you what, that was close to Tillamook just about getting that back as well. Oldenkamp just couldn't get his feet underneath him and reach out and grab the ball.
Scappoose doing a nice job breaking to the bucket and then looking for the dish. Looking down the lane. Flips it out on top. Updike, good catch on the sidelines. Dishes, feeds right side. With the ball holding, now back out to Updike on top. Cheesemaker fans, or Cheesemaker coaches calling for pressure defensively. Watt out in the corner. They have standing in the corner, standing, in fact, in the four corners, and in the middle circle out by midcourt. With the ball on top, now going to make the drive. Steps inside, free throw line, kicks it out. It's straight corner stall and looking for an opening on the drive. 19-12, Scappoose with the lead. 6 minutes left, third quarter. With the ball on top, Jones. Jones picks up his dribble, double team, tips it back door, loose. Rodriguez comes up with it. Oh, traveled big time, no call. Wetzel, near side. Expect a makeup call here anytime. Mugging him out on top, and there's the foul.
Well, finally comes, and Scappoose just continues the relentless pressure. And when they get away with a bump or a hack, they just continue to go at it even more.
Just go harder. Yeah. More slaps, more hands-on. Cheesemakers get it out in the near side on the corner. With 5:50 left, third period, 19-12, Tillamook trails. Down by 7, they trailed by as many as 9. Rodriguez, left wing with the ball. On him is Jacob Wyatt. He's caused Rodriguez some problems. Wetzel, back to Rodriguez on top. Rodriguez, right side, Seaholm. Kicking out Keenert at the elbow. Now he's going to drive. Stetter down the lane. Good from 7.
Blaine got 4 points now in the game, and that's a good, solid move across the paint, up, straight up in the air, strong, and a nice little jump shot.
19-14, Tillamook back to within 5. Right side, crossover, down the lane. Watt, free throw line, steps, going to kick it back out. 3 seconds in the key.
Oh, he just went in there and camped. Turnover number 2 of the second half for Scappoose. Tillamook with no turnovers.
And Scappoose wants timeout. 19-14. Scappoose leads. 5:15 left, third quarter. Back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Cheesemaker Basketball. Randy Shield along with Dave Shermani, your broadcast crew with 5:15 left to play in the third period.
Good.
And it's 19-14.
Well, a good start to the second half as well for the Tillamook Cheesemakers. You said at the break, can they maintain it? We'll see.
Oldenkamp, backcourt against full court pressure, hands to Rodriguez. He goes right side to Wyatt, crossover dribble to the top of the key. Hands to Seaholm, the Cheesemakers set the offense. They go Oldenkamp on the right wing, cross to Rodriguez, free throw line jumper, left it short. Keenert with a follow. Rebound, puts it up, no good. Rebound, goes to Scappoose, and Oldenkamp was shoved all the way to the wall. Scappoose with the ball, left to right across the timeline, lost it out on top, picked it up again. Waits and holds. Finally hands off to the right wing to Jones. Jones with Oldenkamp on him. Jones behind his back, waiting. I tell you what, that's the closest you can get without getting that call. The 5-second call started. They really saying closely guarded before they start counting. Jones on top against Oldenkamp. Going to go down the lane. Dishes back door, lays it up and in. Sawyer, nice break. Cheesemakers got lost on the backside defensively. So right out of the break, Scappoose gets a stop and then a score. Seaholm, right side, Rodriguez for 3. It's good! Rodriguez hits a 3, and boy, did Tillamook need that at that time. They get back to within 4.
Well, Rodriguez just spotting up on the outside and waiting for the pass to come.
Cheesemakers, defensively, they go man this time. On top, Jones. Jones, crossover, picked off by Oldenkamp. Oldenkamp with a steal. Cheesemakers with a push. Seaholm, crossover, free throw line, right side. Wetzel, pump fake. He'll go down the lane, jumps from 7, scores! Back to within 2.
Well, Wetzel with 4 points here in the third quarter. He didn't have any in the entire...
21-19. Tillamook fans are on their feet on the far side with 3:29 left to play in the third. Going to drive baseline, cut off there. Traveled, no, he stepped out of bounds. Turnover, Scappoose.
And that's the 4th turnover here in the third quarter for Scappoose as well. Tillamook yet to turn the ball over in the second half.
Not quite the bounce in Scappoose's step right now either, and it's all momentum. And Mo right now is wearing black and red. Rodriguez in backcourt. Needs everybody to clear so he can bring the ball down. Does as Wyatt reaches around behind, step through. Rodriguez hands back to Keenert. Keenert, left side Wetzel. Rodriguez on top. Rodriguez almost traveled. No call. They haven't called traveling yet tonight. Keenert Clear out on top of the key. Off to Seaholm. Bounce pass right baseline to Oldenkamp. Cutter down the lane. Needs some help. Goes Keenert high post. He gets it. He'll drive down the lane. Step through. Laid it up. Hit in. Tried to draw the charge. Didn't get it. And we're tied at 21.
Well, Blaine Keenert now with 4 points in the quarter as well. 6 for the game.
Tillamook back on defense. Jones, Oldenkamp. Jones down the lane. Traveled. No call. Yes, there's the call. First one of the night. Turnover, Scappoose.
Well, when you said they hadn't called that the entire night, I thought, that's not going to be good for the Cheesemakers. But just one too many jump hop for Scappoose.
Seaholm with the ball. He'll bring it down. Goes right side against Updike. Into the corner, Rodriguez. He'll spot for 3. It's no good. Oldenkamp rebound. Reverses it up and in.
Oldenkamp, his first 2 points of the ball game as well. And all of a sudden, Scappoose looks a little rattled.
Tillamook on a 13-4 run in the second half. With the ball out on top, Cronin. Cronin, sideline right. Going to drive. Cut off there. Now he's going to go baseline. Stops. Feeds out on top. Tipped by Oldenkamp. He can't come down with it. Jones comes up with it. Cheesemakers, good defensive pressure again. On top to Watt. Scappoose right now looks a little tired. They hold the ball out by midcourt. Crossover, tipped away, picked up. Wetzel, one-on-one. Crossover, stumbles, goes in the air, scores off the glass, off balance for 2.
Oh, that's
Scappoose wants timeout on the floor.
That's a crazy shot by Wetzel, who stumbled as he was heading down the floor.
And I take that back. It's going to be a foul against Keenert, not a timeout. Keenert going back the other way. He stumbled, got the pushing foul, and Keenert will pick up foul number 3. 25-21, Scappoose down by 4 now. Cheesemakers with the lead.
Boy, I did not see that
I
at
didn't
all.
either.
And Keenert saying, hey, I don't know, it just happened.
He went right back, talked to the official right away. One of the most polite kids in the game. Updike, left side, cut off by Seaholm. Good defense there. Out on top, Oldenkamp playing perimeter defense on Jones and doing a nice job with it. Those long arms. Out on top it goes to Cronin. Cronin against Wetzel. Cronin going to try to drive at the elbow. Got a little hand check out on top. Didn't see that called the entire first half, but it's the right call.
Well, Wetzel picks up his second personal foul, and Tillamook's got to be careful when they're playing man-to-man defense. Move your feet, not reaching with your hands.
And Keenert's going to sit down with 1:21 left to play in the third and 3 fouls. Ginger comes into the ball game. Out on top. Holding the ball, Scappoose tipped away, picked up by Rodriguez. Rodriguez, left side, down the lane, puts it up and in. What a shot by Rodriguez. Going to his left with a right hand, kissed it off the glass. Tillamook 27, Scappoose 21. Other end, down the floor, in the paint, shot from 7, no good. Rebound, tip, chased down in the corner to the ground. Oldenkamp comes out with it. Tillamook with the ball. Ginger down the middle of the floor. Near side, wise choice, holds it up. Tillamook will set the offense. Under a minute left to play in the third. Ginger on the left wing. He's going to drive, gets kneed. He's going to get the blocking call. That'll be the 4th team foul on Scappoose. Not a shooter here, as Tillamook will have it on the near side with a 6-point lead. 45 seconds left to play in the third period.
Paxson picks up his second personal foul. Every break going the Tillamook way right now.
Ginger to bring it in. Goes to Wetzel, top of the key. Handoff down the lane. Banks it off the glass and in. Seaholm on the run from straight away. Kissed it straight off the glass and down. 29-21. Tillamook, huge run right now. A 15-0 run at this point.
The Tillamook Cheesemakers' last 3 shots have been very tough shots, and every one of them has gone
Seaholm, steal, right wing. 20 seconds left. Behind his back. Step through. Scores! No! They're going to wave it off with a traveling call.
Tillamook with their first turnover here in the third quarter. 17 in the ball game, but near perfect third quarter for the Tillamook Cheesemakers.
That was a good move. A crossover, left-handed. I don't think it was traveling. Tillamook turns it over, 29-21. Cheesemakers by 8 after a great third period of play. With the ball on top, going to make the move. Goes to the free throw line, cut off there. Trips down, picked up. Cheesemakers with 5 seconds left. Ahead to Oldenkamp, down the lane. He's fouled with 1, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Jones picks up the foul. A good strong move that time by Oldenkamp. Going to the hole. Good pass to get it to him right at the hoop.
So Oldenkamp will go to the line to shoot a pair. He's been there twice tonight and missed both of them. Tillamook has forced Scappoose into a host of turnovers here in the third period.
Wow, it's just been all Tillamook here in the third quarter.
Free throw by Oldenkamp, missed again.
As a entire team, Tillamook now 0 for 4 from the free throw line.
Wow. 15 foul against Scappoose. Tillamook missed again, and that's the end of the third period of play. You got to be happy with the quarter and the amount of effort this kid group just put out, though. They lead 29-21. Welcome back to Cheesemaker Basketball. It's the Tillamook Cheesemakers come back here in the third period, outscore Scappoose 21-4, and lead 29-21 at the end of the third period of play. Tillamook will move the ball right to left. Ginger, left side, out on top. Inside Oldenkamp. Oldenkamp kicks it back out to Wetzel. He's going to drive. Distance backside to Ginger. Got it down low. Hack, no call. Got it back again. Put it up. Didn't get the call again. Tipped out into the corner and out of bounds. It'll be Cheesemaker ball.
Boy, good hustle by the Tillamook Cheesemakers. This is not the same team that we saw in the first half.
So the Cheesemakers have the ball out in their own corner.
Boy, just a turn of events, and the confidence is incredible headed toward the Tillamook Cheesemakers.
Inside Oldenkamp, he gets called or fouled, and he'll shoot two.
He'll go to the free throw line, where it's not been a fun place for him so far tonight.
That hasn't been a fun place to watch him be either.
Well, that third quarter, though, the Tillamook Cheesemakers 10 of 14 from the field, 71% shooting in the third quarter, while holding Scappoose to just 5 shots. They made 2 of them. They shot 40% from the field.
And the free throw's good. I keep saying Luke's one of our best free throw shooters. He pulls an offer for 3 quarters, but not anymore as he hits the first free throw of the night for the Cheesemakers. Tillamook leads by 9, 30-21. Second free throw is no good. Scappoose with the ball. Oldenkamp steals. Hands off to Wetzel from 7. Good!
Wetzel had himself a fantastic third quarter. He was 3 for 3 from the field. Now he starts the fourth quarter off pretty dang good as well.
32-21, Cheesemakers by 11. They were down 21-14. That's an 18-0 run right now for the Cheesemakers. In the lane, double clutch, step through, forces it up, no good. Rebound tipped up, Scappoose got it back, laid it up, missed it again. Whistle foul, going to be on Sawyer, I believe. Is it?
Well, it's...
Yes, it will. I think it's Oldenkamp going to shoot 1-on-1 at the other end.
Yep.
And it is. Sawyer on the foul. And Keenert's going to get ready to come back in.
Back to the free throw
line. The Cheesemakers will send Oldenkamp to the line to shoot 1-on-1.
Early in the game to be at the stripe here for 1-on-1. Tillamook has got to start making the free throws. That'll put this game totally out of hand very quickly if they can make a few free throws.
The calls that didn't go against Scappoose in the first half certainly have gone here in the second half. They have not allowed them to be so physical. Free throw on the way. It's no good again. The rebound comes down to Scappoose. Scappoose with the ball, but Tillamook with an 11-point lead, and Scappoose has gone ice cold here in the second half. Updike with the ball on the right side, going to double team. Long, slow flip moon ball, traveled out on top, and there's the call.
Well, it was late.
It was late.
It was way late, but it finally came, and that's the 21st turnover of the ball game.
And the Cheesemakers will have the ball, moving right to left. 6:46 left to play in the game. Seaholm goes right wing to Wetzel. Wetzel, Keenert back into the ball game at the elbow on the left wing. Pump fake, had his guy beat, didn't take it. Off to Rodriguez, cutter inside Seaholm. Step through, nice job, goes up strong, missed the shot. Sawyer down with the board. Sawyer going to outlet near side to Jones. Jones will bring the ball down the floor. Tillamook, a couple times in a row, has good looks, can't get him in the hole. Scappoose now not going to hold the ball out by midcourt. Imagine that. With the ball on the drive, Updike travels with the ball again.
Turnover number 22.
And Scappoose's coach is very upset and wants timeout. It's 32-21. Cheesemakers with a lead. 6:14 left to play in the game.
Well, the Tillamook Cheesemakers got 14 shots up in the air in the third quarter. They only took 11 shots the entire first half. Well, they made 10 of
some problems in the second half.
Well, and it's interesting. You watch a lot of basketball. You notice good teams in the end always just can find a way to pull away from their opponents. The first quarter or the first half can be fairly close, but this is another one of those examples where the Tillamook Cheesemakers clearly the better team, and now they're showing it.
Backcourt with the ball. Seaholm lets everybody clear. It's a full court man-to-man press put up by Scappoose. Scappoose, I think, also tiring a bit at this point. Keener, clear out top of the key. Sawyer on him. Keener going to go down the lane, lays it up and in! All the way to the hole from the top of the key. Keener to the rack for two, 34-21.
Keener now with 8 points in the ball game, and boy, that was a long dribble drive. He doesn't get the ball that far out very often.
Travel in. Oh, they're going to call a foul on Rodriguez coming down. As they had a good double team. It's going to be before the shot. Sawyer actually made the bucket. Tillamook 20-0 run right now. They were down 21-14. They're up 34-21. Sawyer with the ball out on top. Cronin going to make the move. Try to go to Sawyer again. Goes long cross court into the corner. Watts can't get a shot up there. Going to lob it inside. Triple team. Kicks it out to Jones. Jones, 3 seconds in the key. Sawyer got caught camping, and the Cheesemakers get it back on yet another turnover.
23 turnovers
wow.
for Scappoose. That's a bunch of turnovers.
Backcourt with the ball. Pressure. Rodriguez will get it. They go right wing. Going to break the pressure. Seaholm, he has it stolen away. Picked off by Cronin. Cheesemakers do not have to push the ball down. They can go ahead and let everybody clear defensively and bring it down man-to-man. With the ball on top, Cronin going to drive, goes to the baseline, stop there, kicks it back out on top to Watt. The Scappoose really doesn't know what they want to do offensively right now. Inside Jones, 15-footer, no good. Oldenkamp rebound. Oldenkamp, outset, right side. Wetzel going to go down the floor, hands off to Seaholm, on top to Keener. Pump fake. Every time he gives a little up fake, Sawyer goes up in the air. But he pulls it down and backs it out. 4:45 left to play in the game. Seaholm, he's hammered on the right side. The official's asking for help.
Oh, no.
Oh, right in front of the Tillamook bench. Seaholm just about gets knocked on his can on the far side. Nobody sees it.
Well, that's the 19th turnover for the Tillamook Cheesemakers, and that was one of those they just missed. Neither official saw it.
That was just brutally missed. Down the lane, Jones rejected by Oldenkamp. Seaholm with the ball going the other way. Down the floor, layup, 2!
Well, we're seeing one of the best offensive outputs by Dan Seaholm of the season. He's got 8 points in the game.
Whistle, foul, and a reach is going to be against Scappoose. Things are getting a little bit rough in there now. This will only be the 14th foul against Tillamook, so it'll be underneath Scappoose ball. It's 36-21 Cheesemakers, 22-0 run Tillamook.
That's going to be on Wetzel, I believe.
And that'll be his third personal foul. Scappoose to bring it in. Goes in the corner. Wetzel rips it away. Saved back in. Rodriguez with a steal. Josh, he's going to push the action sideline right. Down the lane. Reverses. Baseline. Keener. He's hacked. He'll shoot two. I didn't think he was going to call it.
He was in trouble, too. Keener buried behind the backboard. And
he went up strong, but I think he was looking at the orange wrapper on the bottom of the backboard and wondering what in the world am I going to do now. And there was a huge swing and a big hack by Kenny Jones. And it sends Keener to the line to shoot two. 36-21. What looked dismal in the first half has been exactly opposite here in the second half as Tillamook has outscored Scappoose 25-4 in the second half.
Keener now with 9. He can be the first player of the Cheesemakers in double digits with this free throw.
Free throw on the way is no good. Rebound comes down to Scappoose. 37-21 Tillamook. 4 minutes left, halfway through the final period of play. Cronin down the lane. Wetzel didn't move his feet. He got the foul. And that'll be the fourth personal on Wetzel.
Well, Wetzel's racking them up right now.
He's having a hard time standing with the quicks out there. And Greg going to call timeout so he can get a sub in. 4:04 left, 37-21. Tillamook back in 1 minute. Welcome back. Cheesemaker steal, break, two-hand dunk by Keener, and the foul. Oh my
goodness.
You know, he didn't have a lot of room to set himself either. He wanted to go up with it and did, and just flushed it.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy,
the Cheesemakers broke it loose at one end. Rodriguez diving on the floor, rolled over, flipped it to Seaholm, who fed it to Keener. He one-hand dunked, and he put it down and was fouled. Cheesemakers missed the free throw, but they get the rebound. They'll go to the line to shoot two. Oh, I cannot tell you how impressive that was.
Blaine Keener almost got his own rebound on the missed free throw and dunked it again.
Almost. He followed the shot straight forward, and he almost, off the rebound of the free throw, went back-to-back dunks on one trip down the floor. Unbelievable.
Oldenkamp, it's been a struggle from the free throw line tonight at best.
Free throw missed by Oldenkamp. They just missed two in a row this trip down as well. Second one is no good as well. Keenert again with a rebound. Kicks it clear out on top, and Tillamook will control. 39-21. Into the corner, Tillamook throws it away.
20th turnover of the ball game for the Tillamook Cheesemakers, although it's just the 4th of the second half.
Yeah, that's deceiving when you read 20, because 16 in the first half when you score 8 points. That's a pretty bad start to your turnover night. 39-21. Tillamook on a 25-0 run. Down the lane, shot on the way, no good. Got his own rebound though. Cronin kicks it back out on top to Updike. Updike gonna drive, step through, shot from 7, finally gets it to go. 3 minutes and 23 seconds left in the ball game. Scappoose gets a bucket finally to go. They steal on the inbound, shot in the corner, it's no good. Rebound goes out, and Cheesemakers get it back. 3:10 left to play. 39-23.
It'd be nice just to keep the focus here for the last 3 minutes and 10 seconds of the ball game. Tillamook has done a great job in the second half. A little lazy the last 2 trips down the floor, though.
Backcourt with the ball, looking, waiting. Finally gets it into Rodriguez. Double teamed in the corner. Goes out to Oldenkamp. He's going to bring it himself. Now it's 3-on-1. Left side Keener. Right side Wetzel. Lays it up. No good. Whistle. Foul. I believe it's going to be after the shot. No, he is just really slow on the whistle.
I tell you
it's going to be on the shot. Shooting 2. I thought from where it was called it was going to be after the shot. But I guess he's going to make sure before the whistle blows, and Wetzel goes to the line to shoot a pair. Free throw is good.
Wetzel now with 9 points in the game.
Cheesemakers have had a brutal night at the free throw line, but putting points up in the second half. With 8 points in the first half, they're 41 now in the game. Lead 41-23. Tillamook outscores Scappoose 21-4 in that third quarter. Cronin down the lane, rejected by Keener. Double teamed inside, tips it out in front to the free throw line. Down the lane, going to fade away. Air ball, no good. Cronin rebound, lays it up and in. Seaholm thought he had the foul there, didn't get the call. Backcourt Oldenkamp now against full court pressure. Going to extend. Seaholm on the break, down the lane, all the way to the hole, and he's fouled hard. Tell you, Watts is getting frustrated, and he's taking it out on anybody that comes close to him. And that'll be Watts' 4th foul, so he only gets to do that one more time.
Well, then hopefully he'll sit down before one of the Tillamook players gets hurt.
Seaholm goes to the line to shoot a pair. Free throw on the way is good.
Seaholm now with 9 points in the ball game.
Into the ball game will come Rogers for Scappoose as Cronin's going to go out. 42-25 Cheesemakers.
Wow. I will tell you what a great second half. As ugly as the first half was, the second half is that good.
It's been every bit that good, and the first half was as ugly as we've seen, bar none. 43-25. Both free throws by Wetzel are good. Tillamook on defense. Sitting back in, going to drive inside, far side, tipped away, stolen. Keener with the ball left side, ahead to Oldenkamp. Oldenkamp to the hole, lays it up and in.
Oh, and he was fouled on the play as well. Now Oldenkamp with 5 points in the game.
And Tillamook's going to ask for timeout. Timeout on the floor. 20-point Tillamook lead. Can you believe that? They were down by 9 at halftime. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Boy, that's unloading early.
Coming back to Cheesemaker basketball as Scappoose pushes the ball down the floor quickly and the Cheesemakers foul, but Tillamook also unloads the bench. Nathan Seaholm, Weston Walker, Bloom, Schreiber, and Ginger in the ball game for the Cheesemakers. 2:07 left to play in the game. 45-25 Tillamook. Inbound play, lays it up and in as Ginger lost his man and Chris Hale gets the easy bucket. With the ball, Bloom going to bring it across the near timeline to Schreiber on the near side. Great catch. Kid's athletic for a freshman. Seaholm, that's Nathan Seaholm on top. Schreiber won't look to shoot. Reverses out on top to Bloom. Backdoor pass, Ginger. Kicks it out. Nathan Seaholm, 18-footer. In and out, no good. Bloom rebound, puts it up. Doesn't get it to go. And Schreiber over the back. That'll be a shooter. 1-on-1 on the other end.
That's the last thing you want to have happen is the clock stopped at this point. But, boy, the players into the ballgame for the Cheesemakers, they want to make things happen as well.
Yes, they do. Boy, you almost sit back and just take a big breath because all of a sudden you look at this, and just moments ago it feels like we were sitting here going, how in the world is Tillamook ever going to score?
Well,
and yet they certainly figured that out in the second half.
Wow, they have put some points on the board, no question about that.
37 in the second half alone. I told you there's no way they're going to get to 50. Well, they're at 45 now with 1:40 left.
Well, they may not make 50, but boy, I'll tell you what, that doesn't take anything away from the second half here.
Paxson makes both free throws, and he'll come out of the ball game as Alec Hendrickson comes in. 45-29. Tillamook. Backcourt with the ball. Weston Walker hands off to Bloom. Bloom going to run the point for the Cheesemakers. Right side to Ginger. Clear outside the 3 line. Looking backdoor cutter. Off to Walker. Weston. Nice cut inside to Schreiber, who lays it in with the left hand.
Schreiber could have thrown that down as well.
47-29. Cheesemakers. With the ball on top. Standing, waiting, crossover. Going to go free throw line jumper. It's no good. Rebound comes out on top. Scappoose keeps it alive. Shot no good. Schreiber rebound. Tillamook. Bloom. Long pass right side. Inside to Walker. Walker spin. Nice drop step. Lays it on the front rim. It just hung there and finally fell away. 1 minute left to play in the game. Scappoose. Left to right they come. Cheesemaker fans chant it's all over as the Cheesemakers will move right to left. And it was an emotional game, to say the least, as the Cheesemakers, with 39 seconds left, holding the ball left side to Bloom. Bloom. Got a crossover, free throw extended left side. Picks up his dribble out on top to Schreiber. To Ginger with 25 seconds left. To Bloom. On top to Schreiber. Baseline pass, throws it away. Picked off Scappoose, going to go the other way with 15 seconds left. Down the lane. Out on top, reverses in the corner. Steps in, waits. 10 seconds left. Shot checked by Schreiber. And Schreiber comes down with the ball. Scappoose steals the outlet. Shot out of the corner. It's no good. 2-1. Ginger gets it, and that's the end of the ball game. Well, it was 2 halves of basketball. The only difference was the Cheesemakers half was a whole lot bigger. Your broadcast crew with the Tillamook Cheesemakers win it 47-29. If you just joined us, wow, what a ball game. The first half, what a disaster, as the Cheesemakers were tied 4-4 at the end of the first quarter of play. Tillamook goes back-to-back 4-point quarters. Now, how often do you do that and win? As they get outscored in the second 13-4, and they trailed 17-8 at halftime. As the Cheesemakers really stuck it up about as bad as you could in the first half. Scappoose, a perfect game plan, heavy pressure defensively, a lot of hands-on defense, and the Cheesemakers just couldn't get through it, and ultimately went into the halftime locker room down 17-8 and not looking good at all. But that changed in the second half. Tillamook scored the first basket of the second half. They trailed 17-10, but then Scappoose came back and scored right away and led 19-10. Cheesemakers were down 19-14 as they scored 4 in a row, and it was 21-14. And so let's see, from 10 all the way up to 39. It was a 29-2 run, a 25-0 run for the Cheesemakers as they took an 8-point lead at the end of the third period, 29-21. and they win it going away, 47-29 over the Scappoose Indians. Tillamook remains undefeated in the Quappa League. In fact, Greg Werner remains undefeated in the Quappa League in his second year here as head coach at Tillamook High School. Tillamook wins it 47-29 as they outscore Scappoose 39-12 in the second half. That's a 27-point bulge just in the second half. Tillamook with a win. Dave's got the stats. We'll have those more and more here on Sports Extra after this word from the Les Schwab Tire Center. You buy the Les Schwab Tire Center, the place to go for your tire care. As we got unplugged, and hopefully we'll see if we're still connected here. And it says we are, so I'm assuming I'm still talking to you as we got unplugged on the back wall, and it's a long run back here to get back there and plug us in again.
So I haven't ran that far in a long time.
So the Cheesemakers win it 47-29. What about the stats from tonight's game?
Well, it was definitely a game of halves. Way too many turnovers by both teams. Tillamook Cheesemakers turned the ball over 23 times. Scappoose 26 turnovers for the ball game. Boy, that just tells you right there what kind of an ugly game it is. However, the Tillamook Cheesemakers had 16 turnovers in the first half. They only turned the ball over 7 times in the second half. That's a pretty good half of basketball. And the shooting percentage for the Tillamook Cheesemakers, the first half, Tillamook shot 4 of 11, 36% from the field. The second half, the entire ball game, for the second half, 16 of 27. They shot 59% in the second half from the field were the Tillamook Cheesemakers. For the game, 20 of 38, 53% from the field. That's pretty good shooting.
Yep.
And Tillamook was 19 of 33 from inside the three-point line, just took 5 three-point shots, made one of those, 20% outside the three-point line. Where they struggled was from the free throw line, 6 of 16, 37% from the stripe. You got to do better than that.
Ouch.
And they got a couple of them late, too, that actually helped that shooting percentage. Scappoose, on the other hand, shot 42% in the first half. Pretty good shooting night for them through the half, but they were just 5 of 12. They only took 12 shots in that first half. For the second half, 5 of 23. They shot 21% in the second half. For the game, 10 of 35, 29%. They were 10 of 30 from inside the three-point line, 0 for 5 on the outside of the arc. They were 9 of 10, though, from the free throw line. But the Tillamook Cheesemakers held them to less than double digits in all but one of the quarters, and that was the second quarter, which was a strong quarter for the Scappoose Indians. The Tillamook Cheesemakers, though, 8 points in the first half. Boy, did you read that off? 21 in the third quarter, 18 in the fourth quarter. Yep. Boy, I mean, that is some strong play for the Tillamook Cheesemakers. Double digits, the Tillamook Cheesemakers had 3 players in double digits tonight. Jason Wetzel with 10, Blaine Keenert with 11, and Dan Seaholm with 10 points in tonight's game. Josh Rodriguez, another good shot in the arm for him, or shot with adrenaline for him, for the team. He had 7 points in the game tonight. He struggled, though, in the first half, just like the rest of the team did, getting things going. He had the ball taken away from him a few times, but then in the second half, he looked like the quickest player on the floor again. Schreiber off the bench late in the game. He had 2 points in the game. Luke Oldenkamp, 7 points in the game. Matt Bryant with 2 points. Matt just never got anything going tonight. It was a little too quick, a little too frantic, hands-on type of defense that just kind of took him out of the ball game. Leading scorer for Scappoose was Updike, and he had 10 points in the ball game. And again, Scappoose in the first half, good game plan, everything going their way. The cream rises to the top, and when good teams play basketball, you can have a bad quarter. Apparently you can have a bad half. I wouldn't have guessed that, but boy, they turn it around in the second half and they get the job done. 47-29. If you'd have told me the first half score and then told me the game score, I'd have said you had them wrong.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Cheesemakers win it. We'll take our final break. We'll be back after this.